Yesterday I took this out, degreased it, washed it, brought it back inside. Then I took a bunch of like little picking tools and kind of like a dentist to do with your teeth, and try to get inside all the cracks, try to get all that build up grease out of there. Degreased it again and washed it, and it's drying right now. I'm gonna do a metal etch on it, maybe tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it today. I'm gonna let it all dry out. Some of the dash parts, like that's like the dash and the glove box lid, and those go up like in the headboard, cover the wiper motors, but I coated the insides of those with the Por 15. I'm probably going to sand those down a little bit and put some paint over them at some point, but especially like the glove box, but the inside of those other ones, I guess, doesn't really matter. Did the same thing with like the windshield molding, and like the cowl vent parts I'm kind of working on. Right now I just tore off the brake lines to the I did my first degrease on the front suspension, pulled the brake lines off just now. I'm going around picking out some of the built-up grease. I was able to knock out one of the tie rod ends. That was some time ago. I wasn't able to get the other one out. I'm probably going to have to bring out the torch and heat up the little arm there. Do the same thing with the suspension, the shock links. Try and knock those out of that big pen. So this is gonna, once I get the shock links out and get that tie rod off, I'll do another degrease on this and wash it down. What else? I know that I had like sandblasted a lot of these parts. This is like pedal parts, the steering box, shift linkage, steering column. I sandblasted those, but then I soaked them in degreaser I just left them overnight and then I washed them off. The steering box, like this is actually like the bottom where this arm kind of, steering box, like this arm comes through one of those gears that are sitting over there, but that there's a seal there. It was worn out. There's nothing left of it, so picked up a new seal for it. I got a pack of these rubber bushings with like the brass inserts that go in the shift link. These shift rods and those little arms, they kind of mount on the bottom of the shift column. So I got those. That right there is a radiator kit for Grandpa's 35 Roadster, but I also picked up all the sheet metal for the cab. So you got both sides of the cow patch panels, the rear cab corner panels, the rear cab panel, and both rocker arms. Actually, the rocker arms on the cab, if you saw any of those videos, which I still haven't uploaded, but those were shot, and then the rear lower cab, like that whole bead that's through there, that was shot. The cab corners and the cow front lower corners were okay, but they were eating out. Well, these, for example, were eating out this whole section here. Like this part looked okay. So I don't know which part of this I'll use, but I may use quite a bit of it. These were pretty eaten up. There was a bunch of holes through this. Like that's where the door meets, and then so I just picked those up. I'm just replace that whole thing because the back this is like between the cab and the bed. That was eaten up right there. So these kind of fit in with that rear patch panel there. Anyway, so I've got all those. I need to make a list because I need brass inserts for the pedals because they got some like side to side wobble to them when they're mounted. Like they kind of wobble like that because there's an insert that goes inside that there. Those are kind of worn, so I need to pull those out and put, if I can find them, new bushings for that. I also need to get there's like a rubber cup ball thing that fits over top of this where it mounts on the frame. So I need to source one of those little rubber things that fit in there to have that nice and solid. So I have to pick up suspension end links. These parts, like this one's bent, so I need to pick those up. I'll probably pick up tie rod ends, so I'll need 3 of those, one for each side of this tie rod and one for where the pitman arm links to that rod that comes over and hits over here. So it goes from here to about here, and that's where the steering box links up. So I need a tie rod end for that spot. So anyway, I'm gonna keep working on the front end here, try to get those things knocked out of there. That way I can do a degreasing on it, and then, like I said, we'll be doing the etch on the rear end. Kind of worried about the gear in it. I pulled the drain plugs out. The drain plug and the level plug, I guess. I was able to drain a little bit out of it. There wasn't a whole lot of oil left in there, but there was no water or anything in there, so I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to replace them. I may have to fill it up with something to clean it out. So I can put some new grease in there. I've got the Speedo gear. It was over there with the steering box parts and pedal parts and stuff. I cleaned that out. Here's that arm with the end links on it. I think this side goes to the pitman arm, but it doesn't. I don't see any way to replace that exactly. This part actually, you can see it threads out of the rod. This side may be fine, but I mean, there's a little bit of give in it, but. I think that's about it for now. I'll probably make another video once I've got this thing etched and maybe painted. I don't know. That way I can throw it on here, and I should have some filler coming in probably this weekend. That way I can clean up these the pitting that's in there and the side of the rail there, just to make it look pretty. And I'll do 2 more coats of the paint after that. That's probably it for now. I'm just gonna keep working on the suspension. Once I've got the suspension all mounted again, I can I'll probably start on the cab again.